Kenya is blessed with a beautiful, bountiful and diverse ecosystem. It underpins most sectors including agriculture, livestock production, tourism, wildlife and energy production. Environmental degradation has, however, negatively affected agricultural soils, rural water supply sources and plant and animal diversity. The Green Zones Development Support Project aims to protect and restore the natural forest in the gazetted forest reserves, the reserves that hold the water towers of Kenya. With the goal of stabilizing the climate and rainfall patterns, the Green Zones Development Support Project aims to arrest environmental and biodiversity destruction in the forest and adjacent areas. With funding and support from the Africa Development Bank and the Government of Kenya. The project is implemented by two state corporations, Nyayo T-Zones Development Corporation and the Kenya Forest Service. The project catchment covers nearly 7,000 square kilometers in the margins of 21 gazetted forests in 17 counties. It targets a forest-adjacent population of about 300,000 households. Started in 2006, the project is anchored on the Africa Development Bank's Agriculture and Rural Development Policy, which supports natural resource management and environmental protection. The Natural Forest Conservation Project component aims at reforesting degraded natural forests in gazetted forest reserves. The Kenya Forest Service implements this project under the Plantation Establishment and Livelihoods Improvement Scheme, popularly known as PELIS. PELIS is a partnership of the Community Forest Associations and Forest Custodians Kenya Forest Service. The Kenya Forest Service offers expertise in preparation of forest management plans, nurseries and supervision. The participatory management system allows farmers to grow crops and plant trees rotationally on forest land. Once the trees form a canopy in about 3 years, they vacate the forested piece of land to regenerate another deforested area. PELIS is a win-win strategy that has transformed previous destroyers into astute forest custodians. It is responsible for the successful regeneration and reforestation of thousands of hectares of forest land, as is evident in Gathiuru Forest in Mount Kenya Forest region.
Tukaja mbere tuambe tulime tune forest atonia tukalima twarikia tukandanira imite na igwaci na ime tukalima ira bionde ndahanda mboco ri na ndahanda minci ri na waru ri nije ngakura waru mpendie ndirira na bisi ndara bisi na ndarikia nditie kwa nyambo kangi na no mangambike kamuthithu ka kalira ngikura nkoneka kuruma.
Participatory forest management has contributed to protection and management of 62,700 hectares of natural forests. The community takes the lead in conservation, management of forest resources, and community surveillance patrols. Benefits include regeneration of forests, generation of employment opportunities, and enhancement of income generation opportunities for communities.
As a project, we've been able to establish up to 30,000 hectares of newly planted forest areas. And this has taken 30 million seedlings to establish. The communities have been able to engage with us in a mutually beneficial way. We have seen communities sell their crops, particularly potatoes, particularly maize, and they've been able to transform their lives through buying of plots, buying of vehicles, buying of motorcycles. They have even purchased a Land Rover to assist in conservation of forest because of the benefits that they have received. We have seen others also take their kids to school up to the university level. So it has been a win-win situation between the Forest Service and the communities in terms of the benefits that they are getting.
Sururu Forest in the Rift Valley was a mass of destroyed forest wasteland 3 years ago. It is now a lush greenery of reclaimed forest. The project has been restoring county council hilltops to arrest soil erosion and preserve watersheds that serve the surrounding communities and urban centres. As part of the outreach programme, the project works with county councils, schools and other public institutions in afforestation activities. 4,800 hectares of county council hilltops and watersheds have been rehabilitated. Hills that had turned into bare hard rock are now hills of lush green trees and crops.
Hii mishe unaona hapa imetusaidia ya kutosha. Kwa maana mbeleni hii chakula ungepata. Hii unaona hii sasa. Usuri wa hii miti ni kulete baridi na kulete mvua. Mvua imerundi hali yake ya kawaida. Na ndio unaona tumeregister sasa CFA, tumechukua mlima mwingine inaitwa Kamarete, Kibithe, Kamburugo, yote simbio hizo zimemeki CFA moja.
The project also implements the Buffer Belt Watershed Management Program. Nyayo T-Zones Development Corporation established T buffer belts around gazetted forests in the late 1980s, surrounding the main forests to check human encroachment. The project has been consolidating 19,000 hectares of T buffer belts along the periphery of the forests.
The T buffer belt is a protective cover that reduces soil erosion and subsequent degradation of the covered areas. The consolidated T-belts have also protected habitats and ecosystems by stopping encroachment and also helped in conservation of environmentally sensitive areas. The project has supported establishment of community tree nurseries and purchases seeds from these nurseries as a way of engaging communities in conservation activities. A total of 1.7 million employment opportunities have been created to the peri-forest communities per year on average. This actually translates to about $9 million per year, paid as cash wages to support activities such as weeding, tea plucking, nursery maintenance, pruning, and land preparation, amongst others.
The tea plantations serve as a source of employment to thousands of rural workers. With human destruction drastically reduced, the flow of water from the forest catchments has increased over the years to the benefit of the communities downstream. With ample production of tea from the buffer belts, the corporation has graduated conservation tea production into tea manufacturing with the establishment of Kipchabo Tea Factory in the North Rift region. The factory is a life changer in the community, offering employment to hundreds of farmers living in the adjacent community. To increase water catchment, the project has reforested over 500 hectares of natural forests in environmentally sensitive areas. The intervention has led to the resurgence of rivers that had dried up. The project has increased forest cover by introducing afforestation to communities outside the gazetted forest zones. Working with farmers within a 5-kilometer radius from the forest, the project has established 5,000 hectares of fuel wood plantations and fruit orchards. This fruit orchard in Central Province was supported by the project to assist the visually challenged members of the community. Conservation is always the thematic entry point into the communities. Trained in tree nursery management, these groups now serve as the main providers of seedlings to surrounding communities. The project implements a vibrant community support program for forest-adjacent communities with the aim of promoting benefit sharing for sustainability of the buffer belt approach and participatory forest management. Promotion of community tree nurseries has seen to the establishment of 6,000 hectares of woodlots, incorporating 7,200 households and 300 schools. the project runs a vivacious program in both primary and secondary schools in the conservation areas. Conservation principles are inculcated early in the children's lives. Besides the schools enjoying the perks that come with practical conservation activities, there has been remarkable improvement in school facilities as well as conservation of surrounding riparian lands.
Everybody has a tree here. All the staff, all the children, the board of governors, the PTA. We don't buy gas for the lab. We use it in the lab like for practicals. We don't buy bread. We used to pay like 130,000 a month to Paul's Bakery. Now we don't. We bake our own. And when the demand is there, we just bake. When students are going out, we bake. The other day, it rained so much, there was no matatu. Matatus went on strike. We had a parents' day. So our parents slept here. We just baked bread for them in the morning and they were so impressed.
The variety of household livelihoods and income enhancement activities has incorporated over 17,000 households, 40% of which are female-headed. Innovative and inspiring projects have given rise to unprecedented employment opportunities. Livestock rearing is a popular and rewarding choice for these smallholder farmers. Business entrepreneurship has developed in these remote forest-adjacent communities. The catalytic effect of the program on cottage industry development is evident. The array of entrepreneurial self-help groups that have emerged and are supported by the project include production of detergents, beekeeping and honey refineries, sericulture, mushroom farming, hybrid sheep breeding, dryland fish farming, sheep rearing and wool processing, dairy cattle farming, stinging nettle vegetable processing using forest products, production of energy-saving charcoal, production of energy-saving cookers, construction of energy-saving cookers in homes, production and promotion of energy-saving solar cookers, brick making to replace use of forest wood in construction, pottery using locally available natural resources, investment in education facilities, mountain trout fish farming.
We started with only 3 pods. Right now we have 11 pods. We started with a small hatchery that could only hold 50,000 figurines. Right now we have a bigger hatchery that can hold up to 500,000 figurines per go per season. We have also been able to import eggs from the US, the figurines that we've seen in the hatchery. So we are targeting around 9 million by the end of the year, and we are hoping that by the end of the year, each member will get 100,000 as bonus. So there is no other reason for us to go and look for employment.
These are communities able to make like per year 4 million, 3 million, depending on what initiatives they are doing. And more importantly, knowing that they are not harming the environment, we have trained them. We have worked with other stakeholders in the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Livestock, the Ministry of Fisheries. We bring them on board to assist these communities so that they can reap maximum benefit and put more money in their pockets
The project has been keen to introduce energy-saving technologies and green energy use in the forest-adjacent communities and institutions. With a view to spreading best practices and promote multi-project ventures, the project organizes study tours for farmer groups. Simotwet Self-Help Group in the Rift Valley is a case study of community environmental conservation, empowerment and entrepreneurship.
We cannot allow somebody to be a member if he or she has not planted at least 200 trees in his or her farm. We are now producing more milk than the way we were producing earlier on. The process which you have got from this dairy farming has enabled the farmers or the group members in this case to purchase a piece of land where we have constructed a school. Also, we have become employers since we have now 13 teaching staffs in that school and 5 non-teaching staffs to make 18. So we are very happy with the green zones through the African Development Bank for assisting us in this group. Now our lives have really changed.
The project has funded the establishment of forest watchtowers to enhance forest surveillance and early detection of fire incidences. Scores of bridges and rehabilitation of over 370 kilometers of forest roads has facilitated forest-adjacent communities to access markets. Over 88,000 hectares of gazetted forest are now protected thanks to the Green Zones Development Support Project. A wider forest cover has led to reduced soil erosion, flash flooding and water pollution. Quality of household livelihoods and lifestyles has improved.
The program has helped in planting, over the last 6 years since its inception, in planting about 30 million tree seedlings. That in itself equates to about 30,000 hectares of additional new forests. This, coupled with some endeavors we are doing in conserving the already existing forest, in planting in our degraded catchment areas and also in our river lines, I think in total I must admit that as of now we can conclusively say that this country is about 7% forestry cover. 30 million seedlings, equivalent to 30,000 hectares, is an additional to what now call a carbon stock, which I think Green Zone Support Project must be proud about having contributed toward reducing these gases.
The Green Zones Development Support Program has enhanced forest conservation and transformed livelihoods. These farming communities have reason to celebrate and thank the Africa Development Bank for the support.
Yeah.